And it's 6 o'clock, and we love to get started on time. So I'm Sukirti Gupta, host and co-founder of Sipping Thoughts. And today we're talking about something that is very close to my heart. And I love doing all these beauty topics because they're my personal favorite. And today we're talking about kitchen remedies for healthy skin and hair. So nothing better than that, because everything you can find in your kitchen, that means you can eat it. And we've got with us Dr. Nirmala Shetty, who's the founder of Nirmal Herbals. She's a favorite of the celebs. She's a gold medalist. She's a certified MD and ND in naturopathy. And in this session, Dr. Nirmala is going to share with us her top tips for healthy skin and hair through the use of natural, chemical-free products. She has been known in the industry for her expertise in hair care. She's just published a book which is full of recipes, beauty at your fingertips, kitchen remedies for your skin and hair, and it was launched by no other than Sushmita Sen, gorgeous as she is. And in this session, you're going to learn the best ways to maintain the glow of your skin and also how to have great hair. Nirmala will also share with us recipes that are easy to follow and take care of many problems that individuals face with their skin and hair. As I said, she is the founder of Nirmal Herbal, which is one of the best naturopath cosmetic clinics with 5 branches in Mumbai. She's been a prominent writer for various newspapers and magazines. She appears in DNA, Femina, Bombay Times, Indian Express, Midday, The Intelligent Beautician. She has officially treated Miss India International and Miss India World for their hair and trained them to pursue natural products made at home. So first of all, Dr. Nirmala, a very warm welcome to Sipping Thoughts.
Good evening, Sukriti. I'm so happy to be on the show. It's been there on my mind for days, and I'm like wondering, what am I going to speak? Because I've been continuously doing shows, but I'm sure every person will have a different question, and there's so many answers, all from nature's treasure box. So, yes, we can just go ahead. I think the audience is all in,
Yeah,
right?
perfect. But I will tell everybody, because we take questions on a first come, first serve basis. So please do line them up, because, when in the end, when we will move to the Q&A session, it's really, really hard to take all the question. But what Dr. Nirmala has done for us, she has kind of taken the top 10 problems and kind of will go through them so that we can get solutions to those. But I'm going to kick us off with a couple of questions that are actually on my mind. And the first one is, there's a lot of talk, especially because we've been at home and we have been doing a lot of DIYs, a lot of made at home recipes. But can these natural ingredients and those from your kitchen give you the same results as dermatological treatments, which are so much in vogue?
Well, Sukriti, can't really compare both of them in one manner, in the sense that now you need dermatological treatments for certain purposes. Like, for example, if you have a really scarred skin, okay, now you're not going to work with natural ingredients to take care of the scars, which may mean to peel off the top layer and stuff like that. So, for certain cases like this, or when somebody's had an accident or some major wound on the skin, then you definitely need a dermatologist to take care of it. But you can always prevent so many small issues relating to skin and hair on a daily basis. And I always believe that prevention is always better than cure. So why wait till we come across a certain problem? Start treating it from the beginning. In fact, I would suggest all mothers to start looking after their little ones, as both girls and boys, right from the start at the age of 5 and 6, so that they really don't come across these problems in the later years.
Another question that we often get asked, because just because it's from the kitchen, does it mean it's safe for our skin? Because a lot of warnings are out there that we can actually harm our skin using kitchen remedies. Are there certain ingredients or certain things that we should be watchful of?
Basically, see, like I said, the food that we eat comes from the kitchen, right? And we have always eaten food and we have not really had problems. Of course, you have exceptions to every rule. There are people who are allergic to food. So it works for people who are allergic to food, and then those products may not suit them. But on the whole, I don't think really anything can work in a disastrous manner. And except for some spices, okay? Now, one good rule here is certain spices, like even if you take a simple ingredient called turmeric, which is generally good for every skin type, but people should not use it on an individual basis. Like, for example, if you rub turmeric onto your face, it's definitely going to dry it up. It may even kind of flake up your skin, or it may peel off your top layer of your skin if you just use it direct. So if you would mix it with something else in the right proportion, it can definitely give you a healthy glow. Now, for instance, I do know of a bride who really had an unhealthy skin. I would not say that beauty is the ultimate thing and that I feel everybody is beautiful in their own way. So when I'm talking about skin conditions, I mean healthy or unhealthy. Okay. So this person had a real problematic skin. We treated her for all the various disorders like acne and reduced the open pores and stuff like that. And ultimately, by the end of 3 months, she really had good skin. Of course, no beauty treatment is going to work if you're not going to look at it from an inside out. Okay. So we worked on her diet and everything, and she ultimately had good skin right up to third day before her wedding. And then it so happened, it's a custom that they rub turmeric all over the body and the face. Now, after her skin was so delicate that when they rubbed the dry turmeric powder, it really caused a flare. Okay. Now this flare was so much that it peeled her top layer of the skin, and she was almost crying. And then she came up to me and said, I've done so much and see what they have done. So I said, had you told me about this custom being so, I mean, you use turmeric in such a direct way and not adding things. We could definitely add on something to it. Like you could have oats, add oats to it to soften it. You could have added almond powder to it. So this was a very long time ago. And after that, whenever brides do come to me, I have suggested using my products in combination with turmeric to give them that gentle exfoliation or gentle glow what they're looking for, rather than directly applying turmeric. So these are simple things. So even people are allergic to gram flour. Now, gram flour will be drying if people just mix it in water and apply. If there are people who apply only multani mitti. Now, multani mitti is an age-old remedy for people, and people have been using it. But nonetheless, certain people may be allergic to it, except, exceptionally those who have, say, a very, very dry skin. And if you put multani mitti, then it's going to rob your skin of whatever little moisture it has. So I would not say that every ingredient can suit everybody. You've got to know your skin type firstly. You have to understand what is good for your skin and apply that accordingly. There may be so many remedies. You can apply tomato, you can apply carrot, you can apply potatoes. In fact, everything I could say could be applied onto the face. But nevertheless, one could try it out once again, like you do the other products. You could use it on your neck or a part of your chin and see whether it suits you. Like certain ingredients, like even if you look at, people are very fond of using apple cider vinegar. Okay. Now, this may help in maintaining the pH balance and so on and so forth. But if you dilute it, it's better not to apply it directly. Similar with lemon. Now, lemon is the most common vegetable or a fruit, I would say, which is rich in vitamin C, good for skin. But supposing you add this to some other ingredient, you could add it to either rice flour, besan, milk, curd, then it will probably suit the person better. So I honestly have been working on kitchen remedies for the past 30 years or more. I've rarely come again across a stance where somebody has come up with a major allergy due to skin, due to using these kind of products. So I think it's perfectly safe unless you have a hypersensitive skin and you are worried that it may not suit you, then we definitely do the checking that is necessary and then decide what suits you better.
Now, I'm going to come to this question. I'm sure you get asked this a lot. You treat a lot of celebs. So, what is the most common problem and what most common issue do they come to you for?
Basically, now celebrities, models, they definitely are in front of the camera most of the time and they have to look good all the time. So, you see, makeup is there 24/7, or even their hair, continuous hairstyling is done with so many chemical products. Now, they are not really, even in fact, when you're shooting, they would say you cannot really shoot without makeup unless it's an art film where it's really not required. But normally, all commercial films and all do require the use of makeup. Now, all of them are using good brands and everything, but the makeup used every day from morning to night, some of them shoot late nights. So you see the amount of makeup that is clogging your pores And then when you go to remove it, you again remove it with another product, which is equally full of chemicals. So one could definitely balance it out there. Use stuff like almond powder with coconut oil, or even castor oil is a little more thicker, but they're all moisturizing. So first you could try to remove the makeup with a moist cotton dipped with coconut oil, or then you can add these packs so that to nourish your skin after the makeup has left the skin. So it's very important, the balancing factor, which most of them are doing it with me also, and doing it at home also. So I've only told them use it, but protect yourself, balance it. And definitely they are having good food so that they're taking care of their insides too.
Well, Dr. Nirmala, now off to you. I know you have lots and lots and lots of tips to share. I will be putting the recipes in the chat box, so do not worry. But she has lots of tips. I think a lot of questions I'm already seeing: graying hair, hair loss, eyebrows. So she's going to probably cover all of this: pigmentation, dandruff. Yes, all of these will be covered. So most of the problems, hair fall, all of these, I think we're going to be covering as we go along. So go ahead, Dr. Nirmal.
Yeah. Basically, first of all, I feel beauty at any age is not something that you feel that you've got to neglect yourself and not take care of yourself. It's simply a mark of self-respect, not a sign of vanity at all. So when people feel that, okay, it's like I'm in my late 50s and 60s, I'm a grandmother now, I don't need to bother about my skin, then they are really thinking wrong. They need to take care of your skin, because the health of the skin is equally important, and that makes you feel very good about yourself. So start looking after your skin, whatever the age group is. Even for kids, one could start looking at their skin, their bodies with simple ingredients like green moong dal. You could grind it with oats and keep it in a jar in the fridge. You could mix this powder with so many things, like if you don't like curd, you can add milk into it. You can add orange juice into it. You could add carrot juice into it. So there is vitamins and minerals going along with the pack to to nourish the skins. Okay. So when you start at an age which is almost like 5 and 6, many of us must have already passed the stage, and now you can think about your grandchildren doing it. Fair enough, do it. So you see, you can start as early as that. And once you've reached an age group of, say, you're in the age group of 50 and 60, you can still do a lot of things for your skin. Okay. So another issue with people today is hair loss. I will come back to skin, but first I would like to talk about hair, which is today one of the most major
Biggest
and
problem.
biggest problem. Half, I would say, is also because of the pandemic we were in and are still, and people have lost hair. So COVID has been a major villain in this case, and it has taken off people. I mean, the major cause is stress actually, because it's like a lockdown of all your other, functions. It's like your body is concentrating only on improving or repairing the other organs which are affected by the disease. It's not really looking at hair. It's considering hair as an ornament and leaving that aside for later. So till then, you should not really put your state in a state of shock, put your body into a state of shock, which will create more hair loss. Okay, so accept it. I mean, I'm not saying it's something which makes everybody happy to have COVID, but if you do have or had been through it, in fact, majority of my clients too have gone through COVID, and we have treated them in a very effectively by helping them fight it, like mentally and physically, also by application of various kinds of juices. Okay. So hair fall can be due to any ailment. It can be to thyroid. It could be to hormonal imbalances. It could be stress due to any factor. It could be due to lack of sleep. It could be wrong usage of hairstyling products, wrong usage of, excessive use of shampoos. In fact, not rinsing your hair very well also could be one simple cause. So, like, keeping aside the reasons for hair loss, I could talk about solutions. Okay. Now, let's look food. Hair requires vitamins and minerals. So it requires vitamin A, vitamin E, and B vitamins. Okay. So if you look at the chart, you can you see into the net and see what foods are rich in these ingredients. So start having these kind of foods. Also have sulfur rich foods. Okay. So that definitely helps in producing collagen and strengthen the follicles. So now a juice which will help you all is taking potato juice. You can take potato juice, cucumber juice, aloe vera juice, and you can also add onion juice. Now, the one advantage in herbal and natural ingredients is you don't have to exactly measure. Supposing now you grated one potato and you got excess juice out of it. You grated an onion and you got lesser juice. Or you aloe vera you can't grate, you've got to grind it. Okay. Carrot you grate, not carrot, sorry, I'm talking about potato, aloe vera, and onions. And these are all to be grated, I mean, except for aloe vera again. So you just apply this juice onto your scalp. So this will nourish the follicles and leave it aside for 3 to 4 hours. Then you can also, if you want to, if you find your hair is very dry, you can add a little bit of coconut oil into it or castor oil also. Castor oil is again very moisturizing. So, but it's a very thick oil, right? So when you put on directly castor oil, it's so thick that you sometimes can't even massage, especially the good organic ones. Okay. So now, like I said, this I think Sukriti is already putting it on the chat box. So you can just write, you don't need to write it down. Maybe later on you may get it through YouTube. And you should start using this particular juice. Okay. So onion is again helpful because it has a lot of sulfur in it. So we're looking at sulfur-rich foods to help you directly to prevent hair loss and to strengthen the follicles. Another thing is you can also make a good mask to help good hair. Okay. Now you can take avocado paste. Okay. You can just scoop out an avocado. You can mix any oil of your choice, be it olive or be it castor and coconut together. Again, they are very moisturizing, anti-inflammatory, and have a lot of antioxidants. So this mask will, and plus it's very rich in vitamin E, avocado. So you can apply this mask after the juice massage also.
Now, a question that has come up, Dr. Vandana is asking, we hear a lot about onion oil. How effective is onion oil and homemade versus store-bought? Because they're all coming in
Yeah, the
packages.
second part, Sukriti, what was it?
Homemade versus store-bought. The onion oil.
Homemade, I didn't get you still.
The onion oil, should you buy, is it the same if you make it at home or you buy it from in a bottle?
Not necessarily. See, in the sense, today everything that sells is also natural. Okay. Everybody has realized that if you add a natural element or anything, be it a fruit or a vegetable, it sells better. So even products which are chemically made definitely have herbal or natural ingredients. But I feel you're the best judge. If you make a product yourself, you're sure you have made it, what's gone into it, how hygienically you have made it. So I guess you should do it yourself. There's no harm in it, right? It's only a matter of time and the passion to do it. But if you don't have both, then yes, obviously buying it, why not? But then you can also take coconut oil or and combine castor. I always prefer combining the two, mix onion into it and warm it up for good time and then again extract the juice. Now you can add a lot of stuff into it. So it may not be only an onion oil, but it could be added ingredients which are good for your hair, strengthening the follicles and even providing vitamins. So you can put curry leaves into it. Okay. You can put hibiscus flower into it. So you can make your own oil if you wish to, and you can preserve it well. There's nothing going to go wrong. So it's the personal choice.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, the next question about hair is something about, you see your first strand of hair and you like scream, oh my, I've gone gray. This is a major complaint to everybody, okay? And people it's like, though gray strands may be a sign of wisdom, we really don't want to show our wisdom. What we would like is jet black hair or the light brown hair or the dark brown hair that we actually naturally possess. So when that happens, it definitely brings in worry, and worry in turn can cause more gray hair. Today, everybody is graying even by the age of 30, which earlier people would gray after 50s. Today, most of my clients are graying at 30. That is because of the kind of food that we are eating, the lifestyle that we are all going through. So there is a lot of stress in every field. So that could also be the cause. There's too much of collection of hydrogen peroxide in the hair that creates a lot of imbalances and results in graying. Loss of pigment in melanin in the hair can cause graying. Deficiency in zinc and copper and B vitamins can cause graying. So there are many reasons for graying. It can be, different for every individual. So what I would suggest is have a diet which is rich in copper, zinc, and everything. I think you can put up, Sukriti, the chat where I did give you a recipe for prevention of gray hair. So when you start early, it helps even more. But once you are gray, it is irreversible. You really can't go back to black hair that you once had. Okay, so the recipe goes like you can add 4 hibiscus flowers. You can take a cup full of fresh coconut, curry leaves. You can even add Brahmi leaves. I don't know how many of you all realize that Brahmi is a new, it's a very old ingredient used for years together. But today we don't find it very often in the market, or it's actually a shrub kind of thing which grows really wide. And this is it's such a versatile shrub which you could use for various good reasons. It helps in calming the mind. It helps you to sleep better. And what better? If you sleep well, your hair rests and your body, your skin is resting. And definitely that is one big beauty. So one has to, you take an iron vessel, put everything into it, coconut, milk, hibiscus flower. You have to grind the hibiscus. You can, in fact, the recipe is actually rightly written down. You could soak the hibiscus flower. You can soak the dry amla in it, okay, with water. And then you can add curry leaves into it, some Brahmi leaves into it, some aloe vera. Or you can just use 3 or 4 if you don't have all the ingredients. And just let it be in that kadai for some time. Then later you can grind the whole thing, removing the amla, which is dry, which will give you difficulty in grinding, and take a nice juice out of it. Now add both coconut and castor oil into it. Okay, so both help in increasing the pigment too. So this first juice could be massaged with both the oil and this. Then there's nothing more better than camouflaging it, because that's the only solution for gray hair. People do resort to chemical colors for camouflaging or natural remedies. And the natural remedy is one and only henna. Now, this has been used for years, since I don't know how long. Every Indian woman has used henna. Of course, some people like it brown, but many don't like it to be red. Okay. Now, when does henna actually give you a red color? When you have the entire lock of hair which is white or gray, then the henna looks orangish or reddish. Okay. Now we do add a lot of stuff into it. We keep it in an iron vessel. We add walnuts. We put a lot of, coffee solution or whatever. We even grind fresh leaves so that there is moisture in it. Okay. Now when you grind fresh henna leaves, the leaves are not dry. When we make henna, I make it this way because the fresh leaves have more moisture than the dry leaves. And the dry leaf powder, I had experienced. I went to various areas where we searched for henna, and most of it was just, people used to dry up henna on just some mats and some pots where henna would then later be collected with a broom. Of course, today everybody's buying organic stuff and, looks definitely companies are looking into all these factors. But still, I would prefer people use fresh henna leaves because you will not find henna as drying as the powdered henna. But where do you find henna leaves today? Even we have to source it from different areas, mountainside, when you find henna trees, or people we get it collected from different sources. And that is ground and that gives a lot of moisture and doesn't make your hair dry. So henna is a good solution. But when it starts showing orangish or reddish, the next option would be to use indigo. Now, in my experience for a couple of years, because I had a client who had reacted to indigo, I stuck to that principle. Okay, if indigo is going to harm a person, I'm not going to use it. So I did not try it for so many years of my practice, maybe more than 25, 26 years. Till recently, I started using it on myself. I tried it and I found really nothing went wrong and it was good. Probably at that time when the client used it, she must have immediately gone into sunlight and that could have caused a reaction. Okay. So there could be various reasons why one can have a reaction to. So indigo leaves have another benefit. They help in regrowth of hair. They are strengthen the follicles also. They are good. So they're not really bad. And one should try it out. Only, of course, it's like I believe in applying the henna first and then the indigo powder. There are cases where people say, I have a product which is giving me instant black color and which has indigo and henna also in it and other substances like amla and curry leaves. But I do not, I have tried it and believe me, I have not got an instant black color by mixing henna and indigo. Okay. So what I feel when you try to mix, say, what is indigo? It was used for coloring jeans and all of, on, basically different type of clothing in olden days. So this blue color, that too, the leaves are soaked in water overnight. They are dried and powdered, and when they are soaked, they release a bluish color. So when this powder is mixed and then applied on a henna base, which is orange, then orange plus blue gives you a nice black color, right? So that is the formula one should use: first henna and then indigo. And
And how
never wait
much
for
time
indigo.
in between? So when you apply the henna, do you leave the henna on and then apply the
Yes,
indigo?
yes. You leave it on for, say, if now you're doing it for the first time, especially if you're trying it after coloring your hair for so long, then I think you should give yourself time. But people who have never colored and only used henna can keep henna for a lesser time, like say 1.5 hours or 2 hours. But the rest could keep it for a little longer, 2 hours or more, and then keep the indigo again for another 2 to 3 hours. So it is time consuming, I do agree. But people who really care for their hair or they have gone through the side effects of color and they are losing a lot of hair, getting into alopecia and all that, have moved on and come towards the natural way now. So it has benefited a lot of people, and I'm glad people are realizing that they go back to their roots.
So, doctor, two questions we'll ask. Divya is asking, does coloring hair red
Yeah.
or brown cause hair gray?
Basically, coloring, because it's a chemical color, is like a precedent for more gray. Yes, definitely. If you notice, you may have colored it once or maybe twice, and then you notice you were not even gray when you colored, and very soon you'll start noticing that gray hair. Okay. I mean, then you know that that is the cause of further gray. So I would never suggest youngsters to go in for chemical coloring. They have good hair, and admire the black hair that nature has given them rather than coloring it otherwise.
And a lot of women face the receding hairline, right? So,
Yeah.
a lot of questions on that. So, the hair vitalizer that you have said, is that the solution, or is there something else that should also be done?
No, that hair rewrite, which I told you about the potato juice and all, it's basically good for all kinds of hair loss, or even people with weak hair or thin hair, or people who have unhealthy hair or frizzy hair. All of these works. The best thing about nature is one ingredient, multiple benefits. So if I'm looking at aloe vera as a helpful thing to stop the hair loss, it's also good for moisturizing. It's good for softening your hair. So you could use it for all purposes. But that's why I've given a very common ingredient or a common juice and easily available ingredients from your kitchen to try it out. But again, one should be consistent. If you try it only 2 times or 3 times, it's not really going to work. One has to be really consistent and repeatedly do it to get the best result.
That's the next question I was going to ask you. This hair revitalizer, how often should we be using it?
See, basically, you wash your hair twice a week or thrice. So every time you wash your hair, you are using hard water sometimes, or basically you are using a lot of shampoo to wash your hair. So that is the correct time one can use some ingredients which have some benefits. Okay, so when you oil your hair, you put these juices, they're definitely going to give nourishment to your hair, right? So you use it every time you're washing your hair. Unless, of course, for those who have absolutely no time, you can even make one simple juice. You can just grind some neem leaves. If your hair is oily, you can apply that. Okay, you can grind curry leaf juice and keep it ready. Massage it and then just go for a wash with the shampoo. In fact, if you don't use oil, you don't need to shampoo too. In fact, the pandemic has helped a lot of people to either take care of their hair very well, their skin and hair, or reverse. because they're all working from home, multitasking. So they really have neglected themselves. So I don't know whether it has been advantageous to some and not advantageous to others.
Couple of more questions on hair and we'll move on to skin. I know there's so many questions on skin also. A lot of the hair spa people are saying to you that don't oil your hair, it blocks the pores. Now, a lot of confusing messages about, I think we're also getting a lot of questions. What's the best oil for the hair and hair spa versus oiling of hair?
Hair spa versus oiling. Why in a hair spa also? I don't know which hair spa you are talking about, because in my clinic, the hair spa includes oil. Okay. I need a good medium to massage to improve circulation. If you don't use a good medium and you're just massaging the dry scalp, the blood will not reach the follicles. Okay. So you need a good medium and nothing better than oil. So I always feel people have used it since ancient times. Nobody ever said that oil did harm. But yes, if you're already losing a lot of hair and you apply oil, you feel and you see it coming out, you're worried that the oil has caused the hair fall. And you forget the reasons because you have not looked into the matter as what has caused your hair loss. So I don't think oiling is definitely a good thing, but you should remember to wash it also, because if you go with scalp full of oil into the open air or something, dust, you could attract dust. Now that could give rise to other secondary hair disorders. So your scalp has to be washed well and clean.
And more questions. First of all, they want you to open a branch in Hyderabad. I'm going to say, please open one in Delhi. But how do you make frizzy hair manageable?
Sorry, frizzy hair. Again, frizzy hair requires, now if you're born, if you're in your genes, your DNA is responsible for the kind of hair that you have. And most people who have frizzy hair go up and straighten up their hair. And those who have, I mean, not only frizzy, people who have curly hair straighten up their hair. Those who have very straight hair want to have permed hair. So it's basically each one's personal choice. They all want to look different. But I think one should consider by doing all this, you're unnecessarily messing up with your hair. So I would definitely say that one should not use any products which are so strong in chemicals. Okay. And nature has provided us with ample solutions. You can just grind black till, if you see black till, which you could soak overnight, grind it and massage it into your scalp. It's a great moisturizer. It's hydrating. It can even remove your frizz. Okay, so one has to, again, like I said, if you have done a lot of styling and chemical treatments, then it is going to take a long time.
So last question on here, when we will move on to skin, dandruff, because lots of demand for dandruff.
Yes, I think the dandruff is something every one of us had it sometime or the other in our lifetime. Okay, it's not something that is, people are not really worried about dandruff. I've seen clients coming, oh, dandruff, it's always there. It has always been there. So these are simple things what people remark because they feel it had not harmed them. They were lucky enough. It didn't really cause much. But this is basically the scaling of the top layer of your scalp. Okay. Now, this may be due to so many reasons. It can be an unhealthy diet. It can be stress, your autoimmune system. It could be so many factors. Okay. Now, if you decide like you washed your hair and you had applied a lot of stuff onto your hair and you have left some residue while washing, that again could create dandruff. So dandruff is a very, I would say it's my big enemy when people come to me saying they've got acne all over their back, their arms, their chest, and even the face. So I feel it definitely is caused by the dandruff, though they don't agree. There are many who feel they don't have dandruff and they have a lot of acne on their skin. Okay. So then I've asked them to just try out something for the hair at home or with me, but understand when they try these juices, they notice flaking. So once it starts flaking, they know, yes, I had dandruff. So dandruff is one major cause for acne. So one has to be very careful not to continue having dandruff. Make sure the water that you're using is not hard water. You can use a lot of juices onto your hair to remove dandruff. Like, for example, you could, I think there's a recipe again for dandruff.
Yes, I'm just posting it, but if you want to share.
Yeah.
One second. I'm just going to post that there, but you can tell us about it a little bit and while I put there.
Basically, we're talking about Brahmi. Again, very good for any kind of, bacterial issues. So you could take these Brahmi leaves. You could take one beetroot. That's again very good. You could take coconut milk, neem leaves. You can grind them all together, extract the juice, and just apply it all over your scalp. Let it be there for some time. This, when done twice or thrice a week, definitely relieves you of dandruff. And if you basically have a very itchy scalp and all, then you have to understand that even your food intake should start improving. You should have a lot of water. Most people neglect water. One of the biggest beauty aids, and I don't think a person who really drinks a lot of water has any skin issues. So drinking water is the primary thing. I can see you drinking water. That's good. So, you have to keep a bottle next to you or wherever you are so that you're forced to remember and have it every time. So I guess the old rule of having 2.5 liters or 3 liters, where I know models who go up to 4 liters and 5. So the thumb rule is, except for those for kidney issues and other health issues, they all can have ample. And
Now,
that can
now, coming to water, a lot of concerns because of hard water. And what kind of water should we use on our hair? Should we use drinking water? Should we use bottled water? What should we use?
Yeah, drinking water definitely would be better. But then, like I said, hard water is available in certain areas, which you can't really help. Okay. If you can collect drinking water and wash your hair, nothing like that. So I do remember a lot of people who are staying abroad and they find water very hard and all. So I always tell them to collect water, put say a cup full of methi seeds or half a cup at least of methi seeds into it, leave it overnight, boil it and let it cool. And then probably you can use this water. In fact, you can strain out the methi seeds also, grind that, and again use that as a mask for your hair. So simple reasons how to make hard. You can add alum, they say, but I always prefer methi seeds.
Thank you. I think now we're going to move on to at least some skincare. I know lots of questions on acne, pigmentation.
Yeah. So acne is something which is related to so many other health issues. Okay. It could begin at the age of puberty and it could be half because of your genes. So probably your mother had it or your father had it, and it's bound to happen. But if you decide and say, okay, anyway, my mother had it or my grandmother had it, and I'm going to have it, then it's not going to really help and it's not going to solve the problem. Maybe you can at least avoid the marks. So if you start looking at it from the time you get a simple 1 or 2 boils, you start treating it early, it works better. And there's nothing wrong in just getting a simple boil, because I feel it should not mar somebody's beauty. Okay. People are so worried about even a smallest boil that they get paranoid about it. I feel one should not do that. That again causes stress. So handle the problem. It may just be because you have a major stomach issue or a digestion issue. You could be constipated for all that matter. Your system has to be clear. Okay. So here again, drinking water and everything comes into account. Eating healthy foods, eating foods which are rich in antioxidants, and also staying away from dairy is one big way of getting rid of acne. Okay, now acne again has to be treated not like you don't break open your blackheads and whiteheads with a pomodon. Never do that. That will lead to further scarring. So the best way is to use simple packs made at home, and you're sure you have made it. Only thing, when you're using any kind of leaves to make this acne pack, make sure it is washed well, because today you get leaves which are, you buy it from the market locally. There are a lot of people who are buying it from good places, good organic stores which supply these kind of things. So you can take mint leaves, you can take coriander leaves. Okay, you take a piece of cucumber juice. Okay, you can even just cut a cucumber and put it in the mixer with mint, coriander. You can add basil leaves also. I've not put in the recipe, but one could add that. So see, there are so many ingredients that help. Then you can add aloe vera into it. Then you can add carrot juice again, full of vitamin A. So it is somewhere controlling your acne, whereas otherwise you would have to use creams rich in vitamin A. So why not use it directly? You get cucumber in bottles today. You get Every natural ingredient bottled and sold. But if you can make it yourself, why not? And I think the pores and your skin accepts these things more readily, just like the food you eat. So it's very important, since you know the skin is absorbing all these things, you put what is safe and healthy.
And pigmentation. I think lots of questions on pigmentation. And after pigmentation, a lot of questions on anti-aging, wrinkles.
Yeah. Let me think of pigmentation first because you asked for it. Now,
Yes.
pigmentation again could be due to thyroid reasons, due to liver issues. It could be due to something like, you went through major illnesses and medication could have caused it. It could be the use of spurious cosmetics, which are not really good and you have been using it. So that could cause excessive bleaching your face could cause. Most people are very, very clear that they want to have a fairer looking skin and they bleach their skin so often, which finally results in more pigmentation. They try to cover up pigmentation by bleaching, but that's another precedent for more pigmentation. So avoid bleaching by all means. And then again, bleaching is so bad. It's like your skin is such a delicate thing. Why bleach it? Imagine bleaching a cloth. Try bleaching it 4 times, 5 times. I agree the skin renews, the cells renew, but I think nature is kind, your body is kind to you, and it helps you. But one should take care of it also, right? So give up on bleaching. That's one thing when you want to avoid pigmentation. UV rays, of course, that's a very common thing. When you go out in the sun, it's going to bring in pigmentation, especially the afternoon sun or early evening, whatever. So stay away from the sun, walk in the shade, carry an umbrella, do whatever you could. Applying paste made of red sandalwood at home helps. Even today, there are creams having red sandalwood, which is very good to combat pigmentation. Okay, it's a normal natural sunscreen. So I would suggest one to use those creams, and instead of using something with very high SPF and all, which may not suit you also. There are a lot of clients who come to me with problems of using sunblocks and sunscreens. So, and then they have pigmentation too. So one should avoid a lot of creams when you have pigmentation. Try using a simple, humble potato as many times as you can during the day when you're cooking, or you can make a mask out of it. There again, you can add carrot juice to it. Okay. You can add chironji to it. You can add poppy seeds. They're all hydrating. Plus, they're having lightening properties. I'm not talking about completely changing your complexion from dark to fair, but it will definitely give you a healthy glow, a nice looking skin, and probably reduce your pigmentation to a great extent. And one important rule when you're dealing with pigmentation, you never apply that pack entirely onto your face, because when you wash it off, you'll find the other areas also looking bright and the pigmentation is looking really more bright. So what you need to do is apply maybe all over once, and this area which is pigmented, repeat it twice or thrice. That will give you a solution for reducing pigmentation. It can never be completely taken care of because it's connected to your hormones and your inner system. And you look at all these factors, yes, but you have to control it. That's a very important rule to remember.
So a couple of questions people are asking about sunscreen. So how important is that? The second question, of course, now around pigmentation is dark circles. So people would like to also understand that.
The dark circles, your skin below your eyes are very fine. So any kind of excess massage, or probably, once you know you're having a little bit of dark circles, you will end up buying a lot of creams, which promise you lighter dark circles or whatever. So when you apply that, also you have to be very gentle. And I would never recommend anything being applied which is heavy on your eyelids and below your eyes, especially in the night. You're just, dumping a lot of stuff which is make your eyes and your under eyes bloat and result in bags. So never apply creams. Even if you're applying it, you should check the brand and what are the basic ingredients that goes into making it. So just try putting potato for a month, the juice, you'll find it lighter. Now the aim is, when people say I have had dark circles from childhood, it's never going to go, and you just let it be what it is. it's not going to help. So start putting it as a thumb rule. Every day, grate a potato and apply it onto your eyes. Okay. It will also be cooling. You can apply cucumber the same way. In fact, you can mix both. Keep it on a cotton gauze or a cotton compress and just lie down for some time on an armchair or whatever and relax. It will definitely heal the dark circles gradually. And circulation, even if you have to just gentle tapping and all, not too much of rubbing, even while removing the eye pack, whatever one has suggested, one has to gently take it off with a moist cotton. Just don't splash because these ingredients, if they go into the eye, can do more harm to the eye.
Sunscreen. Lots of questions about that.
I am generally, I don't know. See, it's each one's opinion. I'm really never recommended a lot of sunscreen to my clients. It's 30 years, most of them don't use it and they are quite happy. And they have just used that red sandalwood talc, which I had suggested, and they're quite happy with it. It's a biotech. In fact, the company also doesn't know that I promote their brand, but I really found it through experience because whatever in my line of treatment, I also talk to people who have been coming to me and asking them for their suggestion because that helps me to understand skin more because each skin is different, and so when I ask them what have been, so you have been applying so far for protection, then they say, no, the same thing what you said, and their skin is perfectly okay. So I guess it does give them the benefit. So you have to be very sure in which country you're staying, which state you are staying, the kind of sun exposure. And I really don't know much about SPF. I'm being honest about that. What kind of percentage your skin needs, very difficult to determine.
Now, question, I think the two that come up, one is blackheads, and then open pores, two major issues that people deal with.
Here again, let me be honest. Open pores is not like opening and closing doors, okay? They really don't go away. They just shrink. And probably if you are thinner on your face and then you gain weight, these pores look smaller. But yes, with temporarily you can use chilled ice or cucumber juice or watermelon juice to shrink it. But it's not a permanent feature because it's caused due to a certain problem. The pores are there. So I don't believe in it when people say, yes, there is a cure for open pores unless you look at it the other way, okay, through dermats and stuff.
Okay, and what about blackheads? What is the way to get rid of blackheads and whiteheads?
No, blackheads is again the same reason, excess collection of sebum, wrong eating habits, drinking of less water, right? So you have to continue doing what I said, like keeping your insides clean, having a very good digestive system, or basically the food that you eat, the foods which are, you should have even foods which are cooling. Now, there's no big rule to say which foods are cooling, but you all know that if you have a lot of yogurt and all, it's good for you. So what you need to do is you can take care of your diet, plus you can try applying coarsely ground rice with tomato juice. Okay, you rub it onto your nose or to your cheeks wherever you have these whiteheads or blackheads. Plus, like I say, fat versus fat. You can even take coconut oil, which has lauric acid, which is antibacterial. You can just massage this particular thing with rice and tomato and coconut oil onto that area, gently massages. Don't use an abrasive scrub or something because that will break it up more. Okay, so you just use it and gently you'll see that the whole thing reduces. And drinking water is the next best thing I could say. Just drink. Not only when I say water, I'm not talking about juices, I'm talking about just plain normal water.
And a lot of questions are coming in about face oils versus facials. So would like to understand that, and moisturizing your skin. If you have dry skin, what to do?
Yes, facials or oils. I didn't get you. Because in a facial, I also do use oils. Because I feel when you mix oil and water, it's one of the most natural moisturizers. Though you may have, like my facials are generally not done with creams and lotions. We use avocado pack to massage the face, or I use saffron to massage the face with almond powder and stuff like that. But I don't use coarse powders. I use soaked almonds, so which I grind it into a smooth paste. So when you use peeled white almonds, basically the one when you remove the skin, It's most, you get a softer paste. Whereas the dry almond powder gives you a drier powder, or I mean a coarser powder, which can be used for exfoliation, but not for doing it during your facial. But there are people with leathery skin, okay? Such people require exfoliation. So if you mix almond powder and papaya and give them a facial, yes, it's going to help. So, like I said, I don't believe in facials which are just with creams and lotions. I'm using everything that is from the kitchen, maybe papaya, maybe avocado. And yes, people definitely come out feeling good, refreshed, and more important, a safe feeling that they have used everything that is edible and that's been good for their skin. So it's mentally they prepared themselves and they are happy that people are now making such products. And I don't believe, like I said, in a bottle product which says it has cucumber, because I know what all products must have gone to preserve it also, right? So if you use something neat, obviously it has nothing in it and you know what you have applied. So papaya can give you vitamin A, vitamin C, right? Mix it with curd, you will have more healthy enzymes into it. So add-ons could be as many as you want. You can add castor oil also to a facial. Okay, it gives you radiant looking, it makes your skin shine. So only thing why you go to a particular person or a place is because you know the measurement what they have used is just right. You can do it on your own, it's on your own. It's not really going to cause a lot of harm. You can try. But like I said, avoid spices, though I've written about cinnamon, I've written about cloves. Those are something which you can avoid. So facials are a must for a simple reason, because you get a massage and you're not doing it yourself. You're asking somebody else to massage you. So you understand the relaxation. So you are comforted, you are relaxed, and all the supporting muscles of your face are also massaged. Like in a facial, we definitely give a back massage. It's like different. Even if you want to do it at home on your own, one can do it. But support the neck, the shoulders, everything, because blood circulation is even better. It rushes to the skin, face, and makes it glow. And again, I would say don't expect glow in a bottle or cream or a potion. It's all from within. If you're happy, your smile lights up in your eyes, you definitely look good and beautiful.
Now, huge demand, anti-aging regimen as we're all getting older, and then dry skin
Aging
also.
is inevitable, no, Supriti. It's something one cannot avoid. So one must accept it gracefully, first and foremost. Now, there are choices. People don't really want to look old. And I guess today's generation of 40 to 60 are much more aware and much more doing things than the earlier generation. So they have kept themselves fit by really doing a lot of exercises and meditation, yoga, or call it exercises, even in the gym or whatever. So they do have good blood circulation. They are fit mentally and physically. That all adds to looking younger. Plus, they are applying good stuff onto their skin. And I think it can combat aging in a big way. And aging is in the mind, honestly. So, if, like I said in another talk before, that it's like nobody in the 50s and 60s ever called them old. Though I remember my mother when she was 50, I used to feel, oh, she's an old person now. But today, anybody in their 50 and 60s or 65, 70 is also not considered really old. It only goes beyond that. They make a
No, but I'm
mistake
not going to
and
let you get away so easily. You have to give us some tip on how to maintain our skin as we're getting into our
yeah.
40s
The
and
first thing
50s.
is hydrate yourself. Start in the morning by having at least 1 liter of water. Okay. You can add, see, if you have too much of water also, no, you may go often to the loo, you may feel dehydrated. So add a pinch of salt to this water. Okay. Now you can add a little lemon to it. So it'll give you vitamin C. Start your day like that. Then have fruits in the morning. It helps in elimination, right? So do that and then start your daily work, whatever. Your breakfast can follow the fruits. Okay. So fruits is going to provide you with maximum antioxidants and stuff like that. So there are a lot. In fact, I do suggest people to concentrate on food also to control anti-aging. And so you must have foods rich in omega-3. Some require omega-6. And non-vegetarians do get their omega-3 to fish and so many other, like oysters and stuff like that. But vegetarian can look at it from seeds. In fact, I've given you a recipe which you can put it on the chat box for people, where you can make a proper seed ka chikki, which is available also in the market, but nothing, like I said, make it yourself. So you add all kinds of seeds which are having so many properties in it, all the vitamins in it. So you make it with jaggery. I've given the method. People can read it later and one can have it. So flaxseed, you can add chia, though I've not mentioned. You can add hemp seeds. You can put any seed that you like, put all the nuts in it, one wholesome meal and one laddu or a chickpea. So have it in during the time after your meals, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Have a lot of salads again, raw vegetables, which you could have before your lunch or dinner. And then in between, keep sipping water. And for applications, yes, an oil massage, be it castor, be it olive, or be it coconut, mixed with either simple water or coconut milk. That massage should be there for 5 minutes every day, all with upward strokes. Okay, that definitely helps controlling aging. So, moisture is something which your skin requires and demands all the time. So, massage it best with all this. I agree that you cannot always use oil and make stuff at home. Then you depend on moisturizers from the shop or the market. And fair enough, you could use it probably if it's a good brand or you know what goes into making it. So it's good to use those moisturizers also. But if you kind of moisten your face first and then apply these creams and moisturizers, it will be a double benefit. So always never apply a moisturizer on the dry skin. Make sure your hands, your neck, and all are all moistened. First, you wash it well, leave the water, a little bit of the water on your skin, and then massage your cream in. So that will lead to make your skin look more hydrated.
So, doctor, a couple of more questions. Viren is asking how good is steaming the face and the neck, and the jade roller, which is very, very popular these days for massaging your face.
I think the jade roller, yes, because see, you can't massage so well, and this has a nice smooth finish, and probably you know how to move it up and down. It's an easier way. Okay, so that if now jade actually gives its benefits, I've not tried it out so much, so I'm not a best judge to talk about it. But yes, you could use it because it's a proper uniform stone which you could massage accordingly. There are certain jade stone which have cuts accordingly so that you can massage the jawline or the neck area properly. So fair enough. You could use that also. It's not an issue. You can use it, but nothing like even massaging with your simple hand. Just taking your hands, putting a lot of oil and water and massaging with upward strokes.
I know we've covered so many and there's so many questions coming in.
I think I even spoke about, I've given 2 recipes like what
Yes.
they eat, right? Because
Yes.
that helps a lot. And I've given an omelette which could be made with broccoli and mushrooms. Normally we make omelette with just eggs, but suppose you add all the vegetables to it. Yes, it's definitely going to make a lot of difference because it's going to be rich with so many vitamins and sulfur, and all this is good for hair, especially, but also good for skin. So there are 2 such recipes. Then I think I've also given a recipe of a chutney, which normally we make a chutney with coconut. South Indians all, and even normally everybody today is making coconut chutney with idli and dosa. But I have thought of a good, I would just suggest grinding one whole capsicum into a chutney. Okay. You roast the capsicum, add it with, you can even put some chana dal into it, which is gram dal, which also is protein. Then you can add shallots, you can add garlic, you can add tamarind, some cumin seeds, salt, and just grind. I've given the entire recipe in a proper format, but this is what I would say. You can even add coriander to it. So all of them have some or the other benefits. So you make a chutney out of it, put it on toast, like people have guacamole and avocado on toast. Even that is obviously very good because no, I can't speak less of the benefits of avocado. So even that is a very healthy diet if one wishes to have, especially those who are off carbs and they are into protein only. I think avocado is a good solution for good skin and good hair.
Lots and lots of recipes that we have covered. And I think we're already also out of time. Any last tips you'd like to leave us with?
Sorry?
Any last tips you'd like to leave us with?
Like I said, that looking good is again a mark of self-respect. I would request every individuals to start thinking about external skin as much as you look at the insides. Just as you're bothered that about the food you eat, also be bothered about what you apply to your skin. If you're buying an outside product, please read the ingredients. Make sure you can today everything is available on Google. What these ingredients mean, whether it's safe for you or no. So that is one big suggestion, and start taking care of children, especially from a young age, so that they prevent the problems that you are undergoing. Mostly it is so that, like you say, you can't choose your parents, and you have to understand what your parents are going through. You know what you're going to look at their age. So start tackling that problem right from the time you are young. Then there
So,
was a question which you said about the forehead, right?
yes.
Receding for hairline. That again is a very genetic issue. So I've asked every client who came to me and said, my forehead has really become so large. So I said, how does your mother look? Can you show me a picture? And they would show me on the mobile and said, she too has this same receding hairline. So it goes by your DNA, your genes. So it's not really hair loss which happens correctly in the that particular beginning of the forehead, unless there is a major issue and there are people who are having acute hair loss in the front part of their scalp.
Well, thank you so much. I think, it's been amazing. We've learned so much. And you can imagine these are just some of the recipes. There's so many more here. And I was telling doctor when we were speaking, I said, how are we going to cover so many? But she's done a brilliant job. So I thank you for joining us today. You can follow her. She has lots of amazing food recipes on her own page at Nirmala Shetty, and you can follow Nirmal Herbals, and you will get a lot of this also there. And the book is very, very affordable. It's on Amazon. So please do. We've tried to share as many of the recipes that we could today. She's been incredibly generous with her information. So thank you very much for being with us today.
I'm also happy that so many were able to come in.
Yes, thank you. I know there are lots of questions. We'll try to answer them. We'll try to put it on our YouTube channel or
on my sharing
Facebook.
me that I could answer them.
Yes. So we'll send them to her and we'll try, because there are just so many questions. We tried to answer the ones that we were getting the most responses for, but we'll try to answer all of them on our Facebook page.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sukirti.
Thank you. It was brilliant. I need to go and try some of these things now.
Sure. Let me know the result. I mean, whatever you tried, because there could be so many, I could change it to so many other things too.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Most welcome.